Hey guys, DC Network here, coming at you with another video. Genndy Tartakovsky is returning back to Cartoon Network. Yes, you heard me correct. The guy who created Dexter's Laboratory, Samurai Jack, the original Star Wars, Clone Wars, and Symbiotic Titan is coming back to the place where he started at Cartoon Network. So the announcement states that Genndy signed an exclusive multi-year cross-studio overall deal with both Cartoon Network Studios and Warner Bros. Animation. So what exactly does this mean? So in the past, when Genndy was at Cartoon Network, he exclusively worked for Cartoon Network Studios. Now he is working for both Cartoon Network Studios and Warner Bros. Animation, meaning that he basically can work on any property that either of those studios owns. So in theory, essentially what this means is Symbiotic Titan could return if he wants to go back and do that project with Cartoon Network Studios. He can make a Dexter's Laboratory movie, let's say, if he wants to do that with Cartoon Network Studios. If he wants to make the next Scooby-Doo or the next Looney Tunes, he can do that because he's also working for Warner Bros. Animation. Or if he just wants to create his own brand new IP, he can also do that with Cartoon Network Studios. Or if he wanted to make like a superhero show like the next Teen Titans or, you know, the next Young Justice or whatever that next series is for DC, he can do that as well because he's working for Warner Bros. Animation as well as Cartoon Network Studios. This is really fantastic to hear because, as I said before, Genndy's created a lot of great content for Cartoon Network Studios in the past, and as we all know, he's now working on Unicorn Warriors Eternal in addition to working on Primal for Adult Swim. And we actually have two statements today, one from Sam Register, which reads, Genndy is a true visionary who embodies the creator's spirit at Cartoon Network Studio. As he continues to push the boundaries of storytelling and animation, we are excited to have a front row seat both here and now also at Warner Bros. Animation. And then we have a statement from Genndy, which reads, my time at Cartoon Network Studios since its inception has been the most creatively formative and fulfilling years of my career. I now find myself continuing the amazing relationship as well as bringing in Warner Bros. Animation, the home to everything that inspired me to become an animator in the first place. I am beyond excited to see what we do next. So yeah, Genndy is back. He's back at Cartoon Network, and he's going to be working on exclusive content for both Cartoon Network Studios and Warner Bros. Animation, meaning that we'll be seeing these shows on Cartoon Network, maybe Adult Swim, maybe Boomerang, and probably HBO Max as well. But the one part of this that I am a little bit curious about is this is stated as an exclusive multi-year deal, right? So we know Genndy prior to this was working at Sony, and obviously his deal with Sony wasn't exclusive because he was also working on Primal, he was working on Samurai Jack Season 5, Unicorn Warriors Eternal, so he was working on stuff with Cartoon Network as well as working on stuff with Sony. But the thing is that right now, Genndy has 3 projects in development with Sony. He has Black Knight, he has the new Popeyes movie, and he has one other movie that the name of which is slipping my mind. But does that mean that Genndy is now abandoning those projects? Or does that mean Sony canceled them? Or maybe in his new contract, he's allowed to finish those movies because he's worked on them, you know, and obviously he's started working on them and probably is far along with them. But after those are done, then he's exclusively working for Cartoon Network Studios and Warner Bros. Animation. That's the one thing here that's a little bit up in the air. It's not really stated in the press release what happens there, because obviously, you know, Cartoon Network's not going to be like, hey, yeah, he's working on stuff with Sony. Make sure to, you know, go check out Sony's stuff because they don't want to promote you know, rival companies' product. But that's the one thing that's a little bit confusing here. But overall, this is great to hear, honestly. Like, Genndy is my favorite animator by far. He's created so many great shows for Cartoon Network in the past. And even once he left Cartoon Network, he did a lot of great work. Like Hotel Transylvania, he made, you know, he's the guy who started that franchise. And I think those are some good movies. Obviously, you know, the newer ones aren't as great as the older ones, I would argue. But overall, it's a really good movie franchise. And now he's coming back home. He's coming back to where things all started for him. And hopefully we see the return of Symbiotic Titan out of this. Maybe we'll see, like I said before, a Dexter's movie come out of this. Maybe he'll revisit some of the old properties he made, like he did with Samurai Jack. Obviously, you know, Star Wars The Clone Wars, or rather the original Star Wars Clone Wars, that's not gonna be something that's revisited because obviously Disney owns Star Wars. That's always an interesting show to me because it is a Cartoon Network original, but it also is Star Wars, so like I don't know exactly how the ownership of that one works because obviously Disney owns the rights to Star Wars. They own the, you know, they own Lucasfilm, they own Star Wars, but Cartoon Network is the one who created that show. So that one's always weird, but I doubt we'll see anything with that. I wouldn't be shocked at all if we get an announcement saying, hey, Symbiotic Titan is coming back, or hey, we're making a Dexter's Laboratory movie and they're both in development and coming over the next few years. Would not be shocked at all if that happens. But the one other thing I will say is Genndy left Cartoon Network at a time where they were in transition, right? He left when Jim Samples left the network and Stu Snyder was taking over, and he left alongside Craig McCracken and a lot of the guys who were at Cartoon Network since its inception, really, since Cartoon Network Studios was created, the people who created like Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy or Codename Kids Next Door. So I wonder if Genndy coming back kind of signals something that the network is trying to do. Is the network going to try to bring in some of their old creatives that they had throughout the years who made some of these classic series to try to, reignite either those franchises or have those creators come in and make new franchises for the network? Like, I'm curious after this, does Craig McCracken then leave Netflix and come back to Cartoon Network? Maybe he works on a new Powerpuff Girls or something like that. Does that mean that the guy who created Codename Kids Next Door, his first name's slipping my mind right now, but I believe is Mr. Warburton or something like that, does that mean he comes back now and finally gets the green light to work on Galactic Kids Next Door? Does that mean the guy who created Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, I believe his name is Maxwell Adams, does that mean he comes back now and makes that movie that he got rejected on by Cartoon Network a few years ago? I'm really curious to see the trickle effect of this, because while yes, Genndy has been working with Cartoon Network with Unicorn Wars Eternal, he worked with Adult Swim for Samurai Jack Season 5, Primal. I'm curious to see if now him coming back to the network also, is a trickle effect and brings in other people who used to be at the network before, like the creators I mentioned prior in this video. Of course, I could be wrong and they don't do that, but I am curious to see if Sam Register is trying to bring back some of their old talent that they have to try to reignite Cartoon Network as a brand and get it back to what it used to be. But that's all speculation. Right now, the big announcement is Genndy Tartakovsky is coming back to Cartoon Network. Anyways, let me know in the comment section below what you guys think about all of this. Do you guys think that Genndy Tartakovsky coming back is going to bring back some other creators to the network as well? And now that Genndy is back, do you think we'll finally get a Symbiotic Titan Season 2 or maybe even a Dexter's Laboratory movie or spin-off series or something like that? Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys next time.